Grief in the Water. Lisa Rayner was a nurse, a mother, and a well-known face in Pine Creek, Missouri. The small town loved its routines. Mornings were slow, diners played old jazz, and people trusted the town's long-standing institutions. Lisa, 38, had never left Pine Creek. She had one reason to stay: her 11-year-old son, Caleb. Caleb was her entire world. Bright-eyed, gentle, fascinated with water and sea life, he was always drawing rivers and lakes, asking Lisa to read books about oceans before bed. They lived modestly in a one-story house a few blocks from the local high school. Life wasn't glamorous, but it was complete. That was before the fall of 2015, when Caleb came home from school tired and dizzy. Lisa assumed it was the flu, but the symptoms escalated: vomiting, seizures, jaundice. Within days, Caleb was admitted to the ICU at Pine Creek General, the very hospital Lisa worked in. She watched helplessly as his organs failed, one by one. He died within 3 weeks. The doctors labeled it a rare waterborne infection, a strain of toxic hepatitis caused by environmental exposure. But Lisa, experienced in diagnostics, knew it didn't add up. The pathology revealed compounds she'd only seen in chemical poisoning. And the biggest chemical facility in town, Claremax Industries, was just 4 blocks from her house. Lisa wasn't just grieving, she was suspicious, and she couldn't let it go. At first, people pitied Lisa. Friends brought meals. Her colleagues at the hospital gave her time off. But when she began pressing questions about local water quality, EPA visits, and Claremax, the town turned. She asked her neighbors if they'd had unusual illnesses. Most denied it. One woman confessed her daughter had frequent migraines and fatigue, but brushed it off as puberty. Lisa's hospital supervisor warned her to stop asking patients about their water sources. Her closest friend, Trish, became distant. Lisa spent her savings ordering Caleb's tissue samples re-examined. The results showed traces of chlorinated solvents and benzene, industrial chemicals. She submitted the findings to the local health board. They dismissed it. Without a lawyer or funding, her accusations didn't stand a chance. Claremax was untouchable. They employed half the town. Their CO was on the school board. Lisa was dismissed as a grieving mother looking for someone to blame. But Lisa knew. Claremax was poisoning the town. And no one cared. By 2017, Lisa had lost her job, her savings, and any sense of peace. That winter, she made a decision. If justice wouldn't come through the courts, she'd deliver it herself. She knew the town's infrastructure. The middle and high school shared an auxiliary water tank. It was only partially tested and rarely monitored. Lisa accessed it through janitorial contacts and obscure maintenance pathways. She didn't want to kill outright. Not at first. She wanted to recreate what had happened to Caleb. So she began introducing trace amounts of a compound, a toxic chemical she had synthesized using hospital supplies. Small enough to go unnoticed, strong enough to erode health over time. Months passed, then a year. Students began reporting fatigue, memory lapses, chronic stomach problems. A freshman had a seizure during PE. Another student was diagnosed with liver disease. One collapsed and died during a football game. Still, no one suspected. The town murmured about genetic issues. Poor diets. Bad luck. Lisa felt a quiet, hollow satisfaction. Not because children were sick, but because people were finally feeling what she had felt, which is loss, confusion, and fear. In early 2023, the pattern broke. Mason Lang, a high school senior and local hero, died during a championship game on live television. His autopsy showed advanced liver failure. The same chemical traces were found in his blood as in Caleb's. National attention flooded in. CDC officials, EPA scientists, and investigative journalists descended on Pine Creek. They started testing water tanks, examining old autopsies, and following digital threads. One intern, Jordan Wu, cross-referenced old toxicology reports and found similarities between Caleb's 2015 records and the recent victims. Lisa's name reappeared in lab requests, flagged emails, and hospital requisitions. FBI agents raided her home. In her basement, they found old lab equipment, notes, and a handwritten ledger. At the center was a drawing of Caleb's favorite lake with the words, "The water remembers." Lisa confessed. She explained everything. Her grief, the town's silence, Claremax's pollution, her decision to make the town listen. But then came the twist. Jordan found a second chemical marker, a rare compound used in Claremax's experimental solvents, one that had never been approved for use. It was present in both the water tank and the preserved tissue from Caleb. Lisa was shocked. She hadn't synthesized that compound. Had someone else also been poisoning the water? Under further investigation, it was revealed that an internal whistleblower at Claremax had attempted to expose illegal dumping practices years earlier. His report had been buried. A recent leak in a sealed waste pit had contaminated the underground aquifer and likely made its way into the school's water supply. Lisa, in her act of revenge, had unknowingly used water already compromised by the very company she blamed. Her crime had overlapped with the original sin. She had magnified a disaster, not created it alone. In court, Lisa was charged with multiple counts of bioterrorism and manslaughter. But Claremax faced its own reckoning: federal charges, class action lawsuits, and the resignation of top executives. Lisa was sentenced to life without parole. To some, she's a murderer. To others, a martyr. But to herself? "I didn't kill them," she said in her final interview. "I just made the pain visible. The real poison was already there. I just stopped hiding it." Pine Creek changed. The water was filtered. The plant was shut down. A memorial was built for the students who died. And every spring, Lisa's brother visits the pond near the school, Caleb's favorite, and drops a blue flower into the water. The surface ripples quietly, as if the water itself remembers. Ultimately, systems can fail. Institutions can ignore. But grief remembers. Betrayal echoes. And when a voice refuses to be silenced, vengeance can become justice or devastation.